So we have an update on the Alvin Kamara situation. And let me go ahead and fill you guys in. So if you guys are new and you don't know what happened with the whole Alvin Kamara situation, this actually happened in Vegas, I believe. Again, keep in mind, everything I'm about to say is alleged until it is proven. Um, Technically speaking, he agreed to a plea deal, and he was not charged with what was said against him. But pretty much what happened was not only is Kamara facing the grand jury indictment, but Green is also filing a lawsuit against him back in October. The lawsuit claims that Alvin Kamara shoved Green into a wall and repeatedly punched him in the face. After Green fell unconscious to the ground, Kamara's group allegedly, by the way, his group includes Chris Lemons, who was a former Kansas City Chiefs cornerback slash signed with the Bengals for like a month or whatever. I don't really consider a Bengal, but he was technically a Bengal for like a month. And then one other player allegedly punched Green and kicked him while he was on the ground. Green is obviously the victim in this situation. The lawsuit also states that Green never fought back. So, according to the lawsuit, Alvin Kamara and these two other players were repeatedly punching this man, and he was not fighting them back, and they were like chasing him down to do this. Kamara chased Green down the hall and proceeded to strike him multiple times until he was knocked to the ground. Again, all alleged. At no point during the attack did Green hit, punch, or push Kamara, or any of his associates. According to the police report, the 27-year-old running back allegedly punched Green at least 8 times. The lawsuit is seeking $10 million in damages. Although the video incident that the NFL never suspended Kamara, and at this moment the league likely won't hand out any punishment until the legal process plays its parts. So, yes, this was a really weird situation, I will say, where based on what the information we have, it was Kamara and 2 other players beating the living crap out of some random guy. With that being said, that's all alleged. Nothing has been proven because he technically was not charged for this. So here's what he got. He took a plea deal. A plea deal is what it is. It's a lesser charge that says, hey, listen, at the end of the day, there's not enough evidence to prove you did A, B, C, and D, so I'm going to take a lesser charge, and then you just kind of get the court case over with. So in the end, he had to pay $100,000 to the person. Well, he had to pay $105,000 for medical bills to the victim, and he has to do 30 hours of community service, which, to be honest, I don't know if he was a regular person, he'd be in this situation of being charged like this, because that is what he did would be considered attempt to murder charge. And that would be a lot more than what he is getting right now. Alvin is pleased, though, that this matter is behind him and looks forward to having a successful NFL season. Kamara and three other men, including free agent quarterback Chris Lemons, was arrested on battery charges after accused of injuring a man outside of a nightclub on the eve of the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas. All 4 men was indicted by the grand jury on February 16th after hearing for the case was continued several times throughout 2022. Kamara was also sued in the civil court by the alleged victim, who filed a lawsuit against him in Louisiana last October. The alleged victim, Darnell Green Jr., accused Kamara and the other man of beating him up, then stomping him while he was unconscious. Yes, that's another part of that claim, that the guy, again, ran from them. They chased him down, punched him 8 times. He's on the ground. He's not moving. He's unconscious. And they're stomping this guy repeatedly on the ground when he's not fighting back. And according to the claim, he never punched back. He never fought back. I don't know what this guy said to Kamara. And there's no real reason. There's no way. Whatever he said, there's no justification for stopping a guy when he's unconscious. If you're fighting, that's one thing. He said something horrendous. you're fighting back and forth, that's one thing. But when the guy's unconscious, to stomp him, again, all allegedly, but still. While Green initially requested a damages of $10 million from Kamara, a notice of removal in Louisiana court last November said that Kamara has never actually been formally served with the lawsuit. The two men reached a private settlement on July 10th, according to the lawyer. So, yeah, looks like he got paid off, which he was asking for $10 million. So my guess is he probably gave the guy like $100,000 and said go away. But because there was still criminal charges, he now still has to pay $105,000 for court fees, and then for medical fees, and then he also is going to do community service. The NFL released a statement on Tuesday that said, "We have been closely monitoring all developments in the matter, and this still remains under review." The NFL listed assault and battery as a form of prohibited conduct in its official personal conduct policy, and said any player found to be engaged in the conduct could be subject to discipline even if there's no criminal conviction. Yep. It is not enough simply to avoid being found guilty, the league states. We are all held to a higher standard and must conduct ourselves in a way that is responsible, promotes the values in the NFL, and is lawful. Players convicted of a crime or subject to a disposition of a crime proceedings are subject to discipline. He's going to get a year suspension. He's going to get a 1-year suspension, 1,000%. And I know you might say, well, Deshaun Watson only got 10-game suspension, and look what he did. Yeah, I know. But you got to remember the NFL and their history of the NFL. He's going to get a year suspension for what he did. He does make a lot of money for the NFL. He's going to get probably a 7-game suspension for what he did. I would say a 7-game, maybe 6-game suspension, because this was just disgusting. This was absolutely disgusting how this all went down, and you got to be better than that. I mean, I don't even know how to put it in a correct context. Like, you are stomping first off, you are attacking someone who's not attacking you back. Then you're stomping them when they're unconscious for no apparent reason. And again, I'm sure there is a reason. Like I said, we don't know the reason. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure this guy might have said something or did something that upset Kamara and the other 2 NFL players. But when you're 3 NFL players and some random guy does something, to punch him 8 times, allegedly, then stomp him when he's unconscious, like, come on now. You gotta be better than that. That's disgusting behavior, and that's stuff you cannot do. And when you're Kamara, especially, these other 2 guys are nobodies in the NFL. These other 2 guys got cut. The Bengals cut Lemons. They're gonna never have NFL careers again. Kamara is one of the best running backs in the NFL. And he's letting his team down. He's letting his fans down. And honestly, that's not role model behavior. That's disgusting behavior. So, he's going to be suspended. I'm going to guess 7 games. I would say a year. He deserves a year for what he did. But it'll be 7 games because the NFL makes so much money off of him. And that's just the fact of the matter. He'll probably get a little bit less than Deshaun Watson because then the NFL could say, well, see, we care about women because Deshaun Watson got more time than Alvin Kamara. It is what it is. How do you come back from this? I would say you kind of don't. But the sad part is about a lot of these NFL players that do horrendous stuff like this, it kind of just goes away and we stop talking about it and we talk about something else. So it is what it is. He's not really going to get punished for this. Clearly, the court system did not punish him for it. So he's going to just do his community service, pay the money, and kind of go on with his life. So tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.